Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It's just a little after 8 o'clock in the morning here on Friday, February 7th, 2025. We've got non-farm payroll coming up, and that's going to be the focus of our conversation today. I'm going to be taking a look at, not just non-farm payroll, but I want to take a look at the US dollar index. Those are the two items that I'm going to be focusing on today. If you need access to our Discord for any of our content, any of our trades, any analysis, charts, whatever that might be, you can find all that information on BitDoctor.org. And before I get into any of this, as you all know, it's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research. And I'm just giving my opinion on the market. I'm giving my opinion on the economic news that's going to be coming up, and I'm giving my opinion on the dollar index. And again, those are the two areas of focus today. So let's go ahead and move on into the chart. I'm looking at the S&P 500, and this is the futures, right? So these are ES futures, and what I want to do is I want to take a look at corrective cycles that we have seen over the course of December and January. So what I typically tend to look for in markets, I'm going to typically be looking for an A, a B, and a C, like a three-wave correction pattern, right? And so we've got that right here. So we've got a good move down, and then we've got a correction up, and then we have a finishing move down. And from here we can count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5 waves down here, right? We got a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an A, B, C. And then we've got this move down here, and then a finishing up, and then we finally finish. Sorry, just to get through that. We've got a nice three-wave move here. I think we can all agree there's a three-wave move. Now, I haven't measured this, so let's go ahead and just measure this and see where we get as far as a completion. We got to 100%, right? So again, most of the time I don't prepare a lot of this ahead of time because I want it to be natural flowing. I want you to see how my mind is looking at things and how everything is kind of working its way out inside of my mind here as I put things into perspective. Now, we got to 100% correction. So that, in my opinion, is a completed correction. Now, it's a completed correction. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a completed correction. But if you take a look at the move that we got off those lows, we had a 345-point move to the upside. That took, how long did that take? From the bottom all the way up here to the top. That took about 11 days and 4 hours. So a little less than 2 weeks, we saw a nice 350-point move to the upside. Now, since we have had that correction completed, we again had that nice move to the upside, and I think if we wanted to really, if we wanted to count a move up out of this, we can do something like this. And I can get some subdivision on this wave 3 if I go to a lower time frame, because from this low you can see a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and from down here we get a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete the 3. We've got a nice 4, and then we've got a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got a nice impulsive move off of these lows. All I'm looking for is confluence to add confidence for confidence that this is what is happening. Now, it doesn't mean that this has to be what's happening. I'm just saying that there is evidence to suggest that we do have a nice move up and out of that 5,800 low. And again, I'm talking about the SPX futures, traded as the ES futures. All right, so now let's take another look at a couple other things here, right? So we've got a nice high right here that was created before a nice sell-off. We've got a peak here, we've got a peak here, and then so if we just go ahead and continue to take this out, we'll go ahead and put it about right there. What I want to focus on is the fact that we've had a couple areas to pay attention to. So let's go ahead and put this out. We've got a nice high right there. We've got a nice high right there that was rejected. High right there that was rejected. A high right there that was rejected. But, from this high, a major rejection. This high, a major rejection. Same thing right here, major rejection. This one didn't. And it moved up above this trend line, and now we have support right here. We found support right here. And again, we found support right here. So let's just talk about that now. Okay, so we just got done talking about a nice big correction here. So let's just take a look at this. Similar pattern, a nice move down, a nice move up, and then a nice move down. Okay, so let's just go ahead and take a look at that. So I'm going to just kind of move this over, move this out of the way. That looks like a good structure for a correction. Let's go ahead and measure that as well. Nice move up and down, right? So we've got that correction, and then let's go ahead and take this up there. And what happened right there? We had the 100% correction target right there, right? So that's at, let me go ahead and just measure this, 59.3450, and we got as low as 59.3550. I would consider that a completed correction. And what have we started to do already? We've already started to move up and out of here. But here's the difference, right? So just like we were talking about this diagonal right here where we had all these areas of resistance, then flipping it to support, well, what I've got right here is basically we can exclude that wick right there if we wanted to. We've got a very similar pattern that is forming here, and it's just, again, a series of rejected high, and we are there right now. We're there right now. We've got non-farm payroll coming in about 17 minutes, and again, you know, everybody always makes fun and just like, you know, pokes at people that say this, but what I'm going to say is, yeah, it can go either way. It can go either way. So yesterday in our day trading room, what I was able to do, let me go to an hourly time frame here for a moment. What I was able to do was I was able to capitalize off of this giant move right here. So when we were down here at the lows, I was sensing that we were starting to see a bottom, and that was evidenced, in my opinion, by the fact that we were seeing some support at this horizontal. So we came down here, we stopped, and we started to get absorbed. So I got some calls, and you know, luckily I was able to capitalize off of this. I was able to get into some calls early, and I was able to capture profits. And as the market closed at those highs, I was able to get some puts to hedge my bets because, you know, I had significant profit in a position, so I kept those long positions, and I took some of those profits and rolled it into some short positions just in case we get volatility to the downside. So yeah, I'm going to sit here and I am going to say it could go up and it could go down because that is the fact. It can go up and it can go down. But now let's just take a look at this here. So we've got a nice move up and a decent pullback. Okay, so that's what I want to focus on here. And actually, I'm going to go back to the hourly time frame. We've got a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, nice move up here, and we've got a pullback. So let's just measure that in a couple different ways. From this low to this high, we've got the pullback to the 618, where the target would be 6,100. And that's kind of where we stopped. But let's just take it one step further. Okay, so if this is, in fact, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a correction into a wave 2, well, all right, let's go ahead and measure that and see where we should land. So we've got this 1, and then we've got this 2. If it is a 2, we're going to go to the 1618 before this is all done, right? So this would take us back to new highs, okay? So that would take us to 6,200 on ES futures, you know, a little higher than 6,200 on SPX futures. So we're taking a look at like 6,190, 6,195, somewhere in that region, because right now SPX futures are in contango with the SPX cash index, which means futures are higher than what the cash index is. If it were the opposite, just in case you're wondering, that's called backwardation, where futures are below the cash index value. So if this is a move to the upside, what I would expect is something like this. We've got a nice 1, 2, and we're working on this 3. And then we go for a 4, 5, right? And this would be on kind of like a higher degree. I'm just going to do this for the time being. And just kind of ignore these over here for now. What we're looking for is this 3. So what would this look like at a lower degree? So down here, again, we've got a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, little ABC correction. And then we're working on the 3. And is this going to be the 3 up here? We'll have to see. But what I'm going to be looking for is something like this on a lower degree. Okay, and let's go ahead and measure this. So assuming this is a nice 5-wave move up, and then we get the pullback right here, we're going to be taking a look at, very, very interesting right here. This level right here, which is the 1618, which is going to be your high probability target for a wave 3, is sitting at about 6,150. right? We'll call it a nice even 6150 on ES futures, which happens to overlap with the 1236. Now also notice this 1236 happens to overlap with the 100. So if we get above this, then this is almost guaranteed. It's almost guaranteed. So I would be looking for a completion of the move here, and then watch to see the reaction, and likely we're going in for a wave 4, and then we would be going up for a wave 5, which would terminate again there right around 6,200. Little higher than 6,200. For SPX, that might be 6,200. That's going to be your psychological level. Then we would be going for a wave 4 and a wave 5, but I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. That's what I'm looking at for ES. So talked about this for a while. What I want to do now is I want to go and take a look at the dollar index, because that, in my opinion, is going to be what's important, to validate what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to go to the dollar index, and I'm going to go on a weekly time frame, because on the weekly time frame it's been very, very interesting. All right, so there's been a lot of chop here. What I want to do is I want to put this level right here, because this level is that's basically where the last real significant peak was. But then let me go to a daily and just kind of take a look at this from right here. So we were just talking a lot about a correction, right? We were talking a lot about corrections. So what I'm looking at here is the fact that we've got a nice little 1, 2, and then we've got a 3, 4, and then a 5 to complete that move. Now that doesn't look fantastic. This actually probably looks better down here. One thing about Elliott wave theory is it's very subjective, but then from here you can see a nice little 1, 2, and then a 3, 4, and then potentially this 5 right here. That seems to work out pretty well. Now off of these lows, this is going to be what the important part is. We were talking about corrections. From this right here, this is a nice correction that looks completed to me. Okay, so that correction looks done. And so now what we're looking at is, okay, well, we should be seeing a move to the upside. So let's measure this. Dominant pivot low, dominant pivot high, get the pullback right here. Boom. We hit the 123.6 correction. It was pretty clean. It's pretty clean, if I have to be honest. So we've got a nice A, a nice B, and then a nice C right here. And that's going to be on a higher degree, which would be on the same as this. So let's go ahead and just bump that up, and let's bump this up here to a micro as well. So I'm not going to get into a lot of the subdivision, but what I can say is it looks like we've got a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off of that. So that's going to be the potential for a completion of that correction. So we've got a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll go ahead and take that. Nope, that's the right degree. That would be completing that move. And what we should be seeing after that is we should be seeing a continuation to the downside. So what we should be watching for is, your 1, let me get that right here. We should be looking for a nice little 1, 2, and then we should be looking for a 3, 4, 5. So something like this is what we're looking for. Now, how far is it going to go? We don't know. How fast is it going to go? We don't know. What's Trump going to do? We don't know. It's just all about adding up those probabilities, right? So you've got that confluence that's going to be increasing probabilities, and just getting your bias set up here. Now, if this does work out the way that it looks like it is, we've got dominant pivot high, we've got dominant pivot low, and then let's get that pullback roughly right there. We should be seeing the US dollar index coming, really at least to about 100 to 101. But ultimately, it'd be really great if we could get it down to about 95 to 96. That would be what I would be looking for. And if that happens, that could be the catalyst that we need for not just the S&P 500 to go higher, but also for things like crypto to go higher as well. So Bitcoin, which would also then, of course, translate into alts and whatnot. But this is what we're looking for. We want to see this. If this happens, I think we're going to be ready for a nice move to the upside in equities. Okay. All right. I think that's basically what I wanted to cover here. If you've got any questions or anything, feel free to hop into our Discord. You can find all the information on how to access our Discord on BitDoctor.org. To get access to the free community, to our trading room, to access to our equity trades, our our options day trades. There's all kinds of content there for really any kind of trader. If you're a casual trader, we've got stuff in there for you. If you're an active trader, we've got lots in there for you as well. All that information on BitDoctor.org. We've got non-farm payroll in 8 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and get to the markets. And last but not least, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, good night, and a great evening. Take care, everyone.